Have you ever felt like you're in a fight with your own body? Pushing through the pain, battling fatigue? Well, today we're going to look at a totally different way of thinking. It's an approach that's centuries old, and it asks a completely different question about how we live inside our own skin. Let's dive in. So check out the shift in perspective here. On one side, you've got our modern question: how do I fix this? We treat our body like it's a car that's broken down. But on the other side, there's the ancient question: how do I live without exhausting my body? This completely reframes everything. Our body isn't something to be fixed. It's a precious resource to be preserved. So where does all this ancient wisdom come from? Well, our guide on this journey is a man named Avicenna. He was a celebrated philosopher, and his ideas have, amazingly, stood the test of time. But he wasn't just some guy lost in abstract thought. No, he was also a physician, deeply, deeply invested in the practical, day-to-day realities of the human body. And it's that incredible combination of philosophy and medicine that led him to a really profound insight. And that insight, really his whole philosophy, was revolutionary because it was so simple. Avicenna, who's also known as Ibn Sina, he believed that the body has this amazing built-in ability to heal itself. Our job is just to learn how to work with it, to respect it, instead of constantly trying to force it to do what we want. To really see how this ancient wisdom can apply to us, right now, let's talk about Edward. Edward's 74, and he was doing what so many of us do, pushing through pain, fighting off fatigue, and just feeling like his body was failing him. He was in a quiet war with himself every single day. Edward's journey started when he discovered Avicenna's core idea: imbalance. It's this belief that a lot of our aches and pains aren't really a sign of age or damage, but a signal that something is just out of balance. Maybe we're doing too much, or moving too fast, or our bodies are too cold or too dry. Our body is basically just overwhelmed. And, understanding this idea of imbalance, that was the key for Edward. It led to this huge shift in his entire approach to his own well-being. Let's take a look at how this new mindset really changed everything for him. So the whole thing really boils down to this. He stopped living by that push through the pain mantra, and instead he adopted a new one, straight from Avicenna's teachings. Don't push, prepare. That simple little phrase, it's a complete game changer. It turns the game from one of brute force to one of intelligence and care. Okay, so what does prepare actually look like in your life? Well, for Edward, his journey really came down to 3 gentle, totally doable principles that he started using in his daily routine. And here they are. First, never move cold joints. Second, use oil to help with gentle movement. And third, to start thinking of rest not as giving up, but as an active form of preparation. Let's break each of those down. So the first principle, it all starts with warmth. Just think about your body when you first wake up. It's been still for hours, your joints are probably cold, a little stiff. Just jumping right into your day is kind of a shock to the system. Avicenna's wisdom says, no, you've got to prepare gently. And this is the brilliant part. Look how simple this is. Before he even got out of bed, Edward would just rub his hands together till they were warm and then rest them on his knees for a minute or two. Then he'd start with these small, slow bends, not as exercise, but just as a way to gently wake up the joint and say, hey, okay, we're about to move now. All right, principle number 2. This one kind of pushes back against our modern idea of harsh, deep tissue pressure. Instead, it's all about gentleness, using oil. And why oil? Well, it's just simple physics, right? Oil cuts down on friction. It lets everything glide instead of drag, which makes for a much smoother, more soothing massage. Edward's routine was so straightforward. A couple times a week, he'd warm a little bit of olive oil in his hands and just slowly massage his knees. But check out the goal here. It wasn't about getting immediate pain relief. The real goal was about preservation, making sure his joints could still move tomorrow and the day after that. Okay, on to the third principle, and honestly, this might be the hardest one for us to accept in our always-on culture. Avicenna noticed that fatigue doesn't just show up one day out of the blue. It builds up silently, quietly, day after day until your body finally just says, nope, I'm done. So Edward made a big change. He stopped seeing tiredness as some kind of weakness he had to conquer. When he felt tired, he actually rested, even if it was just for 10 minutes. He had to learn that rest isn't failure. It's your body's essential time to recover, repair, and get ready for whatever's next. These 3 principles are powerful, but they all point to something even deeper.
The biggest change for Edward wasn't just physical, it was a total transformation in how he thought about and related to his own body.
I mean, just look at this comparison. On the left, you've got a battle, fighting aging, pushing through pain, feeling like your body is failing you. But on the right, you see a partnership, flowing with age, preparing with care, and asking this simple, powerful question: what does my body need right now? It's the difference between an adversary and an ally. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Your body isn't your opponent that you have to beat into submission. It's the vessel that carries you through your entire life. And when we treat it with respect, when we listen to its signals and give it what it needs, it carries us well. Okay, now, it is so important to be crystal clear about something. This ancient wisdom is not a substitute for modern medicine. Think of it as a powerful partner to modern medicine.
Let me just say that one more time because it is absolutely the most crucial point here. If you are in pain, if you have an injury, you must go see a doctor. These principles are for support and balance, not for treating specific medical conditions.
And think about it, Avicenna himself was a physician. He would never say to reject medicine. He'd say that these practices create a better foundation. A body that's rested and prepared and not in a constant state of exhaustion, well, that's a body that's much more receptive to healing and medical care. So, what was the end result for Edward? Did he magically feel like he was 30 again? Of course not. He's still 74. But he felt wiser. He understood his body, not as something broken, but as something that simply needed care. And that wisdom gave him a sense of control that is way more powerful than any pill.
And that really brings us back to you. This ancient wisdom isn't just some interesting history lesson, it's a practical invitation. So take a moment and just think about this question. What's one small way, maybe it's a moment of warmth or a 10-minute rest, that you can honor your body today?